Education this evening and commence negotiations for the 2009-2011 contract. Although this is the first time I will be directly representing Paris teachers at the bargaining table, I have worked closely with Clint, Josh, and other negotiators in the past and during previous negotiations, and as a result, I'm keenly aware of the positive working relationship that has existed between the union and the board for well over a decade. It is very much my hope that our working relationship can continue in such a manner. Along those lines, I would add that both sides have benefited from that relationship. Contracts were settled quickly and without the consternation that has been part of teacher bargains in other school districts. Not only was labor peace and very constant for the district and the board, but salaries and benefits enabled Paris a clear advantage over other school districts in attracting and retaining a highly qualified teaching staff. Unfortunately, events that have taken place over the last several months threaten to end that. As all parties are aware, Paris Consolidated School District is experiencing serious financial challenges that threaten the very future of this small school district. Parents, teachers, board members, community members, everyone is justifiably concerned. However, much to the union's disappointment, instead of an effort being made to better understand how this school district went in a few short years from one of the best funded in the state to one on the verge of dissolution, a scapegoat was sought out. Instead of truly investigating the terribly unfortunate turn of events, somewhere it became the fault of the teachers and their high salaries and benefits. To believe that is truly a shame, but it not only seeks a divide between the teachers and the community, but is simply not true. To begin with, Paris teachers are not the highest paid in Kenosha County. Top salaries currently in both Twin Lakes and Randall are higher. Added to that, since the 2001-2002 school year, beginning teacher salaries for Paris increased by only 4% over the Kenosha County settlement average. Top salaries for Paris teachers have increased by only 2% over the county settlement average since 2001-2002. I would also add that Paris teacher salaries and benefits accounted for only 50.9% of district expenses in both 2003 and 4, as well as the 2007-2008 school year. In terms of fringe benefits, health insurance benefits for Paris teachers are basically the same as for all teachers in Kenosha County, as well as for seen in Walworth counties. Like those other locals, Paris teachers have made concessions over the past several years, including higher deductibles, higher prescription drug costs, moving to single provider network, and so on. On a similar note, Paris teachers also made concessions in their retirement provision. There's no question that the rising cost of health care threatens all of us, no question. But we see no logic in continuing to race to the bottom with benefits. Now, once you look past the rhetoric and misinformation about Paris teacher salaries and benefits, the reason for the district's economic hardships are clear. Declining student enrollment and an antiquated state funding formula have far more to do with Paris's problems than what they pay their staff. If you consider that in the 2005-2006 school year, Paris carried over, or in the Fund 10 balance, carried over 51.2% of its over $2 million budget. Student enrollment that year was 210 students. In 2006-2007, a year later, the enrollment dropped to 205 students. Along with that, the district's carryover dropped to 39.1% of its budget. Enrollment dropped further in 2007-2008, falling to 198 students. Because of the formula, this made the problem worse, and the carryover was down to 24.5%. Last year, in the 2008-2009 school year, with student enrollment still dropping, that carryover fell to 8.8% of the total budget. This problem is further exacerbated by the funding formula that provides fewer dollars for districts with declining enrollment. With enrollment continuing to drop, Paris is looking at even less money from the state in the future. Paris could have the lowest paid teachers in the state, and the district would still face serious problems for its future. Now, while such declining enrollment has a more expedient impact on small districts, I'm sorry to say this problem is nothing new for many school districts across the state. A survey of WEAC and the School Administrator Association of 315 administrators across the state shows that 63% of school districts last year reported offering fewer academic classes. 58% of superintendents said they will cut programs in art, music, and foreign language in the next 3 years. Close to 70% of superintendents said that class sizes increased last year. 59% said programs for gifted and talented students were reduced, and 54% stated similar reductions in programs for at-risk students. Is there a way to fund schools in a manner that places less of a burden on personal property owners? WASDA, the Administrators Association, and WEAC are members of the School Finance Network, a coalition that has proposed a plan to change the way Wisconsin funds its schools by increasing general state aid and reducing local property tax burdens. Most districts would see a reduction in local tax money used to run the schools. But that's only one idea. Certainly there is room for healthy and productive discussion on this topic. What all of this tells us is the problems facing Paris are serious, and that it's going to take a lot more than the sacrificing of its teachers to resolve them. Concessions and givebacks do nothing more than place a very temporary band-aid on a very serious problem. At best, such measures will provide only an extremely short-lived relief while permanently lowering the standard of living for professionals who teach the children of this community. That's unacceptable to the union. It is far too early to characterize how this round of negotiations will go, but it remains our hope that an amicable resolution is reached with a voluntary agreement that's acceptable to both parties. And I thank you for your allowing us to go through